I've been thinking a lot about something lately. Have you ever found yourself sitting back, maybe with a cup of coffee or tea in hand, and wondering, what's the secret to being truly happy after 60? Maybe you've already retired, or your kids have grown up and moved on, or perhaps you're just at that stage where life feels different. Life has slowed down a bit, and while there's so much to be grateful for, it's easy to start questioning whether happiness still comes as easily as it used to. Now, here's the thing. If you're like most people, you might think that happiness comes from having enough money, right? Being able to afford those vacations, spoiling the grandkids, or finally fixing up that house you've lived in for years. And don't get me wrong, having financial security is important. But let me tell you something I've learned over the years. True happiness after 60 doesn't come from money. It comes from something deeper, something more meaningful, something that fills your days with joy, purpose, and connection. That's what we're going to talk about today. In this video, brought to you by Wise and Well, I'm going to share with you 4 key things that can bring real happiness into your life after 60. These aren't complicated or expensive things. They're simple habits, mindsets, and practices that anyone can embrace. And trust me, they work. So, grab a seat, maybe jot down a note or two if you'd like, because by the end of this, you'll have some practical ideas to help you feel happier and more fulfilled than ever before. Let's start with the first one. The first thing that brings happiness after 60 is staying connected with people, with your community, and even with yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you had a really good conversation with someone? Not just small talk, but a deep, heartfelt chat where you laughed, shared stories, or even talked about things that mattered to you? Those moments are golden, aren't they? As we age, it's easy to let our social circles shrink. Friends move away, family gets busy, and sometimes it feels like everyone else is living their own lives while we're left behind. But here's the truth. Staying socially active is one of the best things you can do for your happiness and even your health. Studies show that people who maintain strong social connections tend to live longer, healthier lives. It's not just about having company, it's about feeling seen, heard, and valued. So how do you stay connected? Well, it starts with reaching out. Maybe it's calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or joining a local club or group, whether it's a book club, a gardening group, or even a fitness class. There are so many opportunities out there to meet new people and make meaningful connections. And don't forget about technology. Video calls, messaging apps, they're not just for younger folks. They can be a wonderful way to stay close to loved ones, no matter where they are. But connection isn't just about other people. It's also about connecting with yourself. Take some time each day to check in with how you're feeling. Are you holding on to any grudges or regrets? Is there something you've always wanted to try but never did? Staying connected means listening to your own heart and giving yourself permission to pursue what makes you happy. Whether it's picking up a hobby you used to love or trying something completely new, those little acts of self-care can make a world of difference. The second thing that brings happiness after 60 is finding purpose. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Purpose? Isn't that for younger people with big dreams and ambitions? Absolutely not. Purpose isn't about climbing the corporate ladder or achieving some grand milestone. It's about waking up each day knowing that your life matters, that you're contributing to something bigger than yourself, even in small ways. For some people, purpose comes from volunteering. Maybe you've thought about helping out at a local shelter, mentoring young people, or supporting causes you care about. Volunteering gives you a chance to give back, to use your skills and experience to make a difference. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of knowing you've helped someone else. But purpose doesn't have to involve formal volunteering either. It could be as simple as being the go-to person in your family for advice, sharing your wisdom with your grandchildren, or teaching someone a skill you've mastered over the years. Maybe it's tending to a garden and watching it grow or writing letters to friends and family to brighten their day. Whatever it is, find something that lights you up inside and gives you a reason to look forward to tomorrow. Now that we've covered staying connected and finding purpose, let's move on to the next thing that brings happiness after 60. This one might surprise you. It's all about embracing change. Yes, change can be scary. Change after 60 isn't about trying to turn your life upside down or reinventing yourself completely. It's more about staying open to the little shifts that naturally happen as time goes on. Let's face it, life is always changing whether we like it or not. Our bodies change, our roles in the family evolve, and sometimes even our surroundings shift. But here's the beautiful thing. When you learn to embrace these changes instead of resisting them, you open yourself up to new opportunities for joy and growth. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "Things were so much better back in the day"? Or maybe you found yourself clinging to routines or habits simply because they're familiar, even if they don't bring you much happiness anymore. There's nothing wrong with nostalgia. It's nice to look back fondly on memories, but living in the past can keep you from fully enjoying the present. And trust me, there's still so much to enjoy right now. One of the best ways to embrace change is by adopting a mindset of curiosity. Instead of seeing something unfamiliar as intimidating, approach it with an open mind and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? For example, technology is one area where a lot of people over 60 feel out of their depth. Smartphones, social media, streaming services, they can seem overwhelming at first. But once you take the time to explore them, you might discover that they actually make life easier and more fun. Imagine being able to video chat with your grandkids who live across the country or finding online communities where you can share your interests with others. These small adjustments can add up to big improvements in your quality of life. Another way to embrace change is by challenging yourself to try new things. This could be anything from taking a class to picking up a hobby you've never had the chance to explore before. Have you ever wanted to paint, play an instrument, or cook a dish from another culture? Now is the perfect time to give it a shot. You don't have to become an expert. You just have to enjoy the process of learning. And guess what? Trying new things keeps your brain sharp, which is great for your overall well-being. Let me share a quick story with you. A few years ago, I met a woman named Margaret who decided to start learning how to dance at the age of 67. She had never taken a single lesson in her life, but she loved watching ballroom dancing on TV and thought, why not me? At first, she was nervous and stumbled through the steps, but soon enough, she fell in love with it. Not only did dancing bring her immense joy, but it also introduced her to a whole new group of friends who shared her passion. Margaret told me that those dance classes gave her a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. She realized she wasn't too old to learn, grow, or have fun. And neither are you. Now, let's talk about the fourth thing that brings happiness after 60, gratitude. If you've ever heard someone say, gratitude turns what we have into enough, they weren't exaggerating. Practicing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to boost your happiness, no matter your age. The truth is, life doesn't always go the way we plan, and focusing on what's missing can leave us feeling stuck. But when you shift your focus to what you do have, it changes everything. Here's the thing about gratitude. It's not just about saying thank you when someone does something nice for you. It's about actively looking for the good in every situation, no matter how small. Maybe it's appreciating the warmth of the sun on your face during a morning walk or feeling grateful for the kindness of a neighbor who checks in on you. When you train yourself to notice these little blessings, they start adding up in surprising ways. One practice I highly recommend is keeping a gratitude journal. It's simple. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes the smallest moments carry the most meaning. For instance, you might jot down, I'm grateful for the phone call I had with my daughter today, or I'm thankful for the delicious meal I made myself. Over time, this habit helps rewire your brain to focus on the positives rather than the negatives. Plus, on days when you're feeling low, flipping through your journal can remind you of all the goodness in your life. And here's the best part. Gratitude doesn't just benefit you, it benefits the people around you too. When you express appreciation for others, it strengthens your relationships and creates a ripple effect of positivity. So next time someone helps you out or brightens your day, take a moment to let them know how much you appreciate them. Whether it's a heartfelt compliment, a handwritten note, or simply a warm smile, those gestures mean more than you might realize. As we move forward, I want to emphasize something important. Embracing change and practicing gratitude aren't one-time actions. They're ongoing practices that require patience and commitment. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's okay. What matters most is showing up for yourself and staying open to the possibilities life has to offer. Speaking of possibilities, let's dive into the final piece of this puzzle, the importance of self-care. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Taking care of yourself after 60 is about more than just eating well or staying active. It's about nurturing your body, mind, and spirit in ways that make you feel truly alive. Let me ask you this. How often do you pause during the day to check in with yourself? Do you take time to rest when you need it? Or do you push through because you feel like there's always something else to do? If you're anything like most people I know, you probably put others first more often than you should. But here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary if you want to live a happy, fulfilling life. Self-care starts with the basics, like getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, and staying physically active. These might sound obvious, but they're easy to overlook when life gets busy. For instance, have you ever skipped a meal because you were too caught up in helping someone else? Or stayed up late finishing chores instead of giving yourself the gift of a good night's rest? Those small choices add up over time, and they can leave you feeling drained instead of energized. So, let's talk about how to make self-care a priority without making it feel like another chore. First, think about movement. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym to stay active, unless that's what you love, of course. It could be as simple as taking a daily walk around your neighborhood, doing some gentle yoga, or dancing to your favorite songs in the living room. Movement doesn't have to be intense to be effective. What matters is that you find something you enjoy and stick with it. Not only will it help keep your body strong and flexible, but it'll also boost your mood and energy levels. Plus, if you combine it with social connection, like walking with a friend or joining a fitness group, it becomes even more rewarding. Next, let's talk about mental and emotional self-care. This is where things like mindfulness, relaxation, and hobbies come into play. Have you ever tried meditation or deep breathing exercises? They might sound intimidating at first, but they're actually quite simple and incredibly powerful. Taking just 5 minutes a day to sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let go of stress can work wonders for your overall well-being. If sitting still isn't your thing, try coloring, knitting, gardening, or any activity that allows you to unwind and be present in the moment. And don't forget about the importance of laughter and joy. Laughter really is the best medicine, especially as we age. Watch a funny movie, read a lighthearted book, or call up a friend who always knows how to make you smile. Surrounding yourself with positivity and humor can lift your spirits in ways you might not expect. Life is too short not to laugh often, so give yourself permission to seek out moments of pure joy whenever you can. Now, let's bring all of this together. Remember those 4 keys to happiness we've been talking about? Staying connected, finding purpose, embracing change, and practicing self-care, they're not standalone ideas. They weave together to create a tapestry of fulfillment that enriches every aspect of your life. When you invest in these areas, you're not just surviving after 60, you're thriving. You're building a life filled with meaning, joy, and contentment. I want to leave you with this thought. Happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. It's in the relationships you nurture, the passions you pursue, the changes you embrace, and the care you show yourself along the way. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, there's always room to grow, learn, and find new sources of happiness. If anything I've shared today resonates with you, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these ideas you're excited to try, or share your own tips for staying happy and fulfilled after 60. Your experiences might inspire someone else who's on the same journey. After all, at Wise and Well, our goal is to create a community where we can support and uplift one another. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. If found value in this video, please hit that like button.